Welcome one and all, this is WESN. It's Thursday here, and we're going to be talking today about track and field. And track and field from the perspective of athletes who are in the Masters category. They'll explain that. They're right next to me. I've got next to me Mr. Dwayne Herbert. Dwayne, welcome. And right next to him is Rondell Paul. Rondell, welcome as well.
It's a pleasure.
Rondell, let me start with you first. I see that you're further away from me. You wanted to hide. You're not going to get away so easy. So Rondell first. Tell us a little bit about Rondell Paul. How did he get involved in sports? Give us a little history. What part of Trinidad you're from? Give us some history.
I'm Rondell Paul, age 35, Masters athlete. I compete in the age 35 to 39 category. I'm a 100 meter and 200 meter sprinter. And I've always been a very athletic young man and very much involved in sports. And somewhere along the line after graduating and thing, you get sidetracked and you forget about sports, but I quickly picked it back up and I chose track and field as my go-to sport.
When you say you graduated, you mean from university?
Yeah, from high school.
High school, okay, right. So you just stopped sport because of your studying, is that what happened?
Yeah, you want to experience life more, you want to just be with friends, you want to travel, stuff like that.
So what triggered that change to go back into sports? Something must have triggered it.
Yeah, you got me there. So I think it was my mom and my ex-girlfriend at the time. I was telling them about.
Ex?
Yeah. So I was telling them about.
See, when I like to deal with facts. She was your ex when she triggered it, or she became your ex after she triggered it?
She was my ex when she triggered it.
All right, so explain that because I'm lost there. So explain that, man.
So one day we was in a conversation. I was boasting of my prior abilities.
So you was in a conversation while she was your ex?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And my mom was there, and I was.
And your mom was there too?
Yeah.
All right, this is getting even more interesting.
So I was telling them about how good I was at football, how fast I was at running in high school and stuff like that. And I was like, at the moment, no. I was like, I have a point to prove. So I started back training, and I was like, every day, I'll show you. Because I always had a good build, but I lost it somewhere along the way. So I went on a journey to retrieve that. So that was my first, I told you so.
That was it, what year, so what year, remember?
That was 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I started back training on the track, and due to the minor injuries, I took a little bit of time off to do bodybuilding. So for a minute, I took a walk in my father's footsteps. He was a bodybuilder.
Okay.
So I started venturing into the men's physique category in bodybuilding.
Right.
Where I won the 2017 and 2018 men's physique title, Trinidad and Tobago title.
Good.
And then after that, I realized, you know what? If you win both juniors and seniors, you have to wait 4 years or 3 years till you could compete again in those sports. Yeah, you have to get the upcoming ones a chance. That's locally.
Right, okay.
So back to track and field, and it's been a very up and down journey, but I'm pleased to be here.
How you got into the master's program then? What drove, yeah.
Right, so training on the Mani Ramjan Stadium, Mr. Prasad, he's the...
Ganesh Prasad?
Yes, he's the coach of Simplex.
Yeah.
He recommended that the Masters will be a very safe haven place for me to join and train and getting a lot more competitive experience under my belt, and I took his advice.
All right, so you still have been lost with one of the parts of your story, but I'll leave it if you know. All right, Dwayne, tell us the same sort of question that we asked Rondell. Give us a little history of yourself.
Okay, my name is Dwayne Herbert. I'm one of the deep south. I came from more Turk Tarakit, so people mix it up with Tarakit and Rio Claro. We're somewhere right between, right? Now, I was in track and field since I was 6, where the first sport endeavor was when I made zonals games for primary school. Now, my mom told me that was New Grant Anglican. Okay. So my mom, she was like, no, you're too young, and I cried my tail off that end.
Both only talking about mom a lot.
Yes, because I will admit it on national television that I am a mama's boy, yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, right. So from there, I think the other year, my mom said, well, all right, I'll give you a year to figure out. At the age 7, I started competing sprints and long jump right on the ground home by me. I had a grassroots coach, Mr. Marshall. He grew up with us, friend of the family. Ventured into secondary school where I started in my first club. That was Warriors in Princestown under the coach Robin Britton. He carried me for a couple of years, but before that I made my first national team as a primary school athlete. That is when it had the CUT games in St. Vincent. So yeah, from way back when, I was on 11 to 13 at the chance.
In what event?
That was in the long jump, the 100 meters.
Okay.
And it so happened that it had some mix-up, so I ended up running the 4x1 relay alone. And to butter it up, they told me that, all right, you can anchor Trinidad, where we actually won the event that day. Fast forward into secondary school games, my whole character years, I never made a character team. I missed the character team like 100th of a second, but I never gave up hope. Went back and trained hard. And it was in 2010 I decided to venture outside of Trinidad, where I went to train in Jamaica. Trained there for a year. I was training for the 100 meters and the 200 meters. Come back home to try to make the national team, and I got a serious injury, like the core of my hamstring. And that was like tragic. It took me like 3 years. Yeah, 3 years of rehabilitation. But the upswing of that is after the third year.
How you stayed in it?
Stayed in.
Why? After 3 years, some people give up after a year.
Yeah, but I mean, I still had the drive, still had the passion, because at that point in time, I could have actually seen what I was doing. As a junior, I was jumping 7 meters, but it was always just right there, and you're right on the threshold.
So you stay with the long jump rather than the 100 meters?
Yeah, more kind of specialized to the long jump, but I still love the 200 meters. In 2013, when I got back, I made my first senior national team, which was the CSC Games. Yes, the CSC Games in Mexico. I kind of finished, like, I think I came 9th, little out of the finals,
right,
which was an awesome experience. I also tried back 2014. I went to Cuba, trained under the coach of is Mr. Perez, Yoran Perez. 2015 was when I made my second national team, which was in Nakak, where I was a finalist in the long jump event. There I got chance to meet people like icons like this guy.
Bolt?
No, not Bolt. I wanted to meet Bolt though, but Carl Lewis.
Okay,
Carl Lewis.
Right,
yes, and it was so astonishing that coach had to kind of put me into this zone and said, Dwayne, we are competing. We can negotiate, we can talk, we can take selfies or whatnot with that. So 2015, everyone, come to this point in life where you're thinking, all right, what next? What we doing? How we going to elevate ourselves? So it so happened that I was in between going to college or trying to go professional. Now I had both options at the point in time, but it so happened you want to listen to mama and dad and decide, well, all right, we can try this scholarship. And I ended up going to UTT, where I had another injury. And now all athletes, complain about a groin injury. That kind of put me out like into depression. Studied civil engineering, so everybody was like, you needed to focus more on school and this track thing. So, you need to try to motivate yourself. And that is where I actually saw that depression was real. I always saw to the track when you want to calm down, when you want to let loose. And you actually seen in training while you're warming up, you can't warm up properly, you're always in pain. So I practically kind of gave up at that point in time. In life, yes, I was like, all right, you seen, we could do this thing in school, and if anything, you could come back to the track. But 2 years, 3 years into it, you just have this desire and you had this fire, something keeps saying, boy. And then it had, in 2020, after the pandemic, I was talking to one of our training partners. That is Mr. Blackman. Big up Mr. Blackman. He was like, boy, here you see, I know you from a long time, you could still do this. Everybody was aspiring that you could be the next national record holder. Look, this guy Andwele, he came and gotten the national record right after you stopped track and field. And he kind of like, you could say old fire, stick does catch fast. Yeah. He kind of like sparked back this fire and this passion that I had for track and field. And I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, you bounce up guys like Rondell, where I feel I could beat Rondell in a little 100 and a little 200. He made me know it was a feeling, but to my knowing that I wasn't a sprinter anymore, I'm a jumper. So then it came up to the fact that, you know, the
so
whole...
When was the first time two of you all met?
Both of us met, I think, was in Manu Armstrong Stadium.
Yeah, would be.
Yes. Jeremy Blackman, he organized a training session between the both of us. He was like, he talking to me on this side, talking on this side. He said, well, but here we see, we could come and join this group and we could call ourselves the South Boys. So we always trying to, like, with the Masters events, trying to at least pull our relay team, which we never got to run together. So he and Rondell ended up running in separate relay side teams and put me with somebody else to run. And we always wanted to. So I think it's Jeremy that actually got me to come back into Masters. And so far, it's been, let me say, fair to find. It was better than I expected. Because I really wanted to go in like full-fledged. I wanted to give it your all.
Right.
I was hoping to be in Paris this year, but I know the amount of training that it takes within the discipline. You wouldn't be able to reach that high, but they said if you reach for the skies or reach for the stars, you could at least land on the clouds, right? So yeah, it have a lot more to go, a lot more that I intend to do.
So how long have you been, I'm going to come back to Ronald too, how long have you been a Masters competitor?
Actually, I've been in Masters less than Rondell.
Okay.
Yeah, Rondell have like a year or two, and in Masters 2 years, I think, practically. I joined last year. Yes, last year was my first year competing on the Masters.
So Rondell, is it going to be the first time you represent Trinidad and Tobago or not?
Yes, this will be my first international competition in track and field.
How does it feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, to know that the hard work finally starting to show signs of paying off. I mean, obviously there were standards to be met to qualify for the team. And the year started off very rocky with minor injuries. And, you know, the development meets where you have the opportunity to run the standard, and I haven't been running the standard. And then I just gave it one last push for the last development meet, and I made the standards in both the 1 and the 2.
Same thing for you. I mean, first time representing Trinidad and Tobago in Masters.
Well, first time competing for Trinidad with Masters.
How does that feel?
It feels...
Because you would have gone through a process where you would have competed already, but at a younger age. Is it different?
Yes, it's a lot different. I find it's a lot more cool, calm, and collective in the sense
You
that...
you don't think it's because you're older?
Well,
It helps.
Yes, before you had the concept that, you know, train hard and get better.
Yeah.
Now it's train smart and get better. So it's like when we are accustomed banging, no, they said you have to gradually.
Okay, so when do you all leave? Give us a little idea.
So we leave, the team leaves for Gothenburg, Sweden on the 9th to the 25th.
9th of August.
Yeah.
I'll come to you first, and then I'll go around there. In your category, you'll be what? In the long jump
and the triple jump.
Right, long jump and triple jump. Who are expected to be some of the competitors in your age bracket? Have you any idea?
No, and I did that for a reason, because I tend to get overexcited.
Right.
And if I know the distances that I want to reach at, right? And I think around from all the other competitors I've seen so far on the world stage, they're ready yet. I don't want to be overconfident, but I believe that I've put in enough work in order to be just...
In both events, or that's one?
Both long and triple. I'm a lot scared for the triple jump, seeing that
Go ahead.
the phases itself,
does
put a lot more stress on the joints and the knees, and being a little older,
so
you know.
Will you be the only competitor from Trinidad and Tobago in that event, or sometimes you have two competitors in that particular event?
The only
one in the high jump.
Okay.
And
in the
long jump, sorry,
and
and triple jump, my fault. Ronald, similar to you, Have you looked at some of the competitors in your age category? You're what, 35 39, right? 35 39 in your category.
Yes, I'm a bit different to Dwayne in that aspect. I like to study my opponents.
I would like to study. If I'm a Bob, I do the same thing as well, honestly.
Yeah, I need a real brute answer as to what sort of previous times my opponents have run. So know that what standard I have to meet. I don't want to go up there with a nonchalant attitude. If I know that I have to run a personal best of, we say half of a second faster, that's what I have to do. So I think.
What's your best time right now?
11.0, unofficial, but for this year I've run 11.26.
So what do you expect in terms of when you said you did what Dwayne didn't do? So when you looked at the competitors, tell us about the competitors.
The majority of competitors have run speeds around 11.2, around the times I have made, and I see 100 and 22 seconds in the 200. There are a few who have run 21 seconds in the 200 meters, and let's say 10.5, 10.4 in the 100 meters.
Wow.
So those are the standards I am looking to meet when I go over there.
You'll be the only one representing Trinidad in those events, or there are others as well?
No, only in the men's age 35 to 39, I'll be the sole competitor in the 1 and the 200.
How big is the team?
Team is 17 athletes.
17 years old?
Yes.
What is the camaraderie like? Because I mean, it's different age. I mean, not being bad, right? If you don't mind me, you're in the younger. With all due respect, you're in the younger category. Because I've interviewed some in the past who are in the older category. So what is the camaraderie like?
I would say it's the same way that there are younger upcoming pros that we love to compete against on the track. They say iron sharpen iron. So you run against faster people, you're likely to run faster. The older athletes and the masters, they don't back down. They want to run against us during practice. They want that speed. They want that fire. They are coming. So the camaraderie is very welcoming, and yes, we're always challenging one another while on the track, and like to share information in the WhatsApp group and stuff like that.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we continue talking with these two young men who will be representing Trinidad and Tobago. Representing Trinidad and Tobago, we have Rondell Paul and Dwayne Herbert representing Trinidad and Tobago in the Masters in Sweden in August. Take a short break. We'll be back.
Folks, we're back and better than ever.
Your show have always appeared to be a show that is focused on going to the cause or looking to the cause.
We hardly ever talk about the white-collar crime, though. We always talk about the ones that involve more as physical violence against individuals.
The citizens will only measure transmission when water starts to flow through their taps.
The Constitution doesn't talk about local election.
Contract mafia that's responsible for looting the country, and they own and operate these politicians.
So if you are running a country and you can't say nothing as a prime minister, please take up your bag and go.
It is not comparative to the murder figures, but it is in fact very high.
I believe he's protecting certain individuals.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Welcome back, welcome back. We've got two young men here with me. I've got Dwayne Herbert next to me and Rondell Paul. Okay, so Dwayne, competing, and you're a little bit different. I want to start with you first. Competing at all the different levels for Trinidad and Tobago now that you're at the Masters level, what do you tell yourself in terms of your dreams and your aspirations?
So where dreams is concerned, it's still the same, to be the best. Where my aspects is concerned, where you're thinking that you have to bang, 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 train hard, go hard, you don't necessarily need to do that anymore. You listen to your coach, you can compromise, you always have to communicate. Your body does tell you a lot at this age. Your mind actually just said, hey, man, that's the last thing to fade. So my knees, my hamstrings, everything else could be burning. I'll still be going down the track. I'll still be doing boundings. But it have a point in time when they said that rest is also part of training. Rest is also important. So this now, where I said that I'm quick to get overexcited for stuff. So most times I'll have to take a breath and say, Dwayne, all right, we're doing this. We have to do this only. After rehabilitate, all right, we can do this after. If I could do a whole week's training in one session, I will try my very best, and that obviously will cause injury. So now if I have a bigger goal, or if I want to be world class, I need to follow these steps in order to reach there, because I'm coming from like sitting down for 7 years when I was thinking, just in senior championships, when I went to train with the young guys, I know with ease I used to be jumping over 7 meters, and I literally call on my body to say, all right, Dwayne, this is what we're going to do now, and to realize that my body couldn't react because of this, because of the amount of times that I was away, and it was just kind of amazing to me to think that, nah, Dwayne, you're not a failure, no. What it is went wrong, and I had to sit down and I literally talk to myself and said, Dwayne, here what? All right, same goal, but just different approach.
From the perspective of someone who, there are some people who, when they compete for Trinidad and Tobago, let's say, all during the years, they don't want to be the master because they say, man, master's too easy. How you deal with people who tell you that? You go in there, take advantage. How you deal with that?
Honestly, it's according to who. I'll just smile and wave at some point in time, but I'll try to explain to them, all right, if it's something that you love doing, and me, I am very passionate about my sport, something that you love doing, it could be just a church sports, it could be just trying out with the kids. You just continue putting your all in it. So I have a lot of people saying, you see, you're too old, but you're still in this, and then it have the other set. It always have a positive side. It always have the other set that will say, but you still in this thing. Here we seen, I ain't lying to tell you, you never gave up, you're always there. I love seeing you. I love your energy. I love what it is you're doing. I love that you never went astray, even though I wasn't seeing you for a little time. And I still believe that you could do whatever it is you put your mind to. So I cannot look at the glass half full in that concept. So.
Same question for you, Rondell. I mean, if people tell you, Rondell, why you just win bodybuilding, why you taking on masters for? What are you doing that for? Where they don't no value, people tell them, how you deal with that?
Well, first off, is the masters competitive arena is not a walkover. We have athletes who bring the fire. One mistake, and you're in second place, third place, as opposed to first and getting the goal. So it's also is an avenue for me. I'm the type of person, I need to exercise. I need to channel my energy. From a young age 35 is the same experience. And competition brings a sense of adventure to me, a sense of achievement. So I was always searching for competition, trying to get faster, trying to jump higher, trying to lift more weights. have been doing these things, and I'll tell these people that they should come on board as well if they have interest in the sport, whether it's track or field. If you know you're strong in the gym, come and enter a throwing event. Throw a javelin, learn to throw a shot put. I'll try to motivate them as to say, you know what, I'm taking a gamble and you shouldn't. I'll always try to encourage people to become an athlete too.
Okay, so now let's talk about it. You said you're running the 100 and the 200. Which one is it? Do you have a favorite?
Yes, I like the 100.
Why? Any reason?
It's a shorter race, so it's less race planning. It's just more about explosiveness and carrying your velocity to the end, which is a shorter distance. The 200, I have less experience in the 200. I've only run like 200 meters since I started back running track in 2021. But the 100 meters now, I have about 15 races under my belt.
What's your strength in 100 meters? You're watching on one right now, but what's your strength?
I always pride myself on being an explosive starter. Yes, there is room for improvement, but now I'm really feeling development on my top end speed, the way that I finish, coming closer to the finish line. So I'm stuck in between the start and the finish. So it's just to perfect the middle part of the race now.
Is there when you all are together and you all are training, how is the training like? Do you all feel when you train together, do you all feel like that you all have the support of the people at Trinidad and Tobago?
We do, judging from the reaction of the younger athletes that we meet on the track on a weekly basis, right? They always speak to us in a manner that we know these youths are looking up to us. Maybe in their mind they're thinking, you know, hey, but we're going to be that age one day. I want to still have that fire like those guys. So, yeah.
Rondell, and just from Rondell, so Dwayne, your perspective on what I just asked Rondell, in terms of the feeling you get from others watching you and seeing you participating, do you get that feeling of that full feeling of support?
Yes, I always get that feeling of support. I think that trickled down from being known from juniors, go straight up to seniors. Because like even if we line up for a normal event and like they have to call out the athletes, I get like this long, you could say bio. Yes, but even like in training, I'm more like the playful one. Rondell is always trying to keep us in line to, all right, Dwayne, we have to focus, we have to do this, all right, guys, we have to focus. But mainly because long and triple is my pet event, I did multi-events for like a couple of times just for fun. So I'll run 100 meters, at 200 meters, at 400 meters. I actually have a rivalry with the association president, Mr. Sheldon Mason, that he runs 400, 200, but I do long and triple, right? So I told him that's how here's what, we'll run the 200 meters and the winner takes all. So
all right, that's an interesting concept, nevertheless. Before we go to the break, gentlemen, and let me continue with you, Dwayne. From a perspective of training, you mentioned, of course, your training. What is your training like? What do you do? Because people might say, okay, masters, you all guys won't train as hard as athletes who go into Carifta, well, I wouldn't even say the Olympics, Carifta, Pan Am, as the case may be.
So what we have to do is find the easiest way to get exactly what it is you want out of the workout. So where the younger jumpers, they'll be doing plyometrics on the hard track. I'll have to do it on some type of softer surface. If they're doing this amount of reps, I have to do less amount of reps. They'll try not to get me, even though I want to be big and rip as Rondell, I'll have to do lighter weights and less reps in order to get what I need itself and not injure myself.
Same question for you?
Yes, a lot about athlete management. If you don't have a coach and a panel of people managing you 24/7 like the elite athletes, you have to do a lot of that for yourself. So research must be done, how to better manage stress, physical stress as well, how to still go get your 9-to-5 job duties done and then after go on the track and give it your all. And I think recovery is a big part of that. You need to know, as driven as I am and as much as I love the sport, I literally have to restrain myself at times from not training on certain days that I ought to be resting. So athlete management is very, very important at this age.
And when you say restrain yourself, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Overtrained.
Overtrained? Truth?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in overtraining. I came into the track and field industry with this David Goggins mindset, you know, go hard, just don't quit, no excuses. But reality kicks in that, listen, you want to get faster, we need to make certain exercises possible and then rest so that adaptations can set in that you could come back and run faster. So, yeah.
All right. On that note, we take a short break. We're going to be still with us when we come back after the news. But we're going to stop now for the 3 o'clock news here on WESN. We'll be back right after.
Seven is out, all day is in. WESN News on the hour.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former Mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the Home Store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Shogunas, and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop 10 Nook Avenue, St. Anne's. WESN 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. Metropolitan Bookshop, Ariapita Avenue, Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5835 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh, I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
Now you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploiting the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
All right, hey, welcome back. Now you see it on the screen there, it's marked, we run the World Masters Athletics Gothenburg Championship 2024. We jump the world. Well, one man is running, one man is jumping. World Masters Athletics Gothenburg Championship 2024, 13th to the 25th of August. The Trinidad contingent leave on the 9th of August. And as I said before, we've got two of the representatives here. Gentlemen, looking at that, first let me start with Dwayne. Dwayne, tell us about some of your teammates when you look at that. Who you expect, besides the two of you all, who else?
Well, we expect Master Prime, Martin Prime. He's about 100 and 200, 400 meters world champion. Miss Gwendolyn Smith. She is the chose queen, as we say. We have Geraldine George. Just to name a few, we have Marianne Mitchell and Michelle Sage, who are prior right now out in Pan Am Masters Games.
Winning medals.
Yes, winning medals. So yeah, just to name a few.
Which one of them you get along best with?
I get along with all.
I find that a conservative kind of way.
Actually, I'll say
you
Mr.
must
Prime.
have all right, go ahead.
I'll actually Mr. Prime, Optimus Prime, we call him.
You want to run yet?
No, that he want to run me. I want to run him. Anyway, yes. I turned the tables. I was like, since I was young watching Mr. Prime coming up, I always wanted to compete against him. And when I finally got the chance to come to Masters, I was like, I reached Prime.
I mean, Rondell, I mean, in terms of the other members who would have been there over a longer period, obviously, who's your best mate? Who's the best mate?
Well, I have to mimic Dwayne because actually Mr. Prime, who actually initiated me into joining the Masters, he came, I remember that day very clearly. He came, he dropped the registration forms and he told me, you know, just join the chat, pay attention, we have certain meetings, attend the meetings, and just stick with the group and you should go very far. Mr. Prime brought me to the Masters.
When you look at the support now, let's talk about not so much the people, but the countries, corporate Trinidad and Tobago, the various sporting authorities. Do you feel, let me start with you, Rondell, do you feel that Masters athletes are recognized well enough in this country?
At the moment, people are now hearing about the Masters competitions in the air. So it have a slight buzz around the Masters currently seen. As recently, Marianne Mitchell and Michelle Sturge, they just won 2 gold medals each out in Pan Am. So people are hearing about the Masters. And track and field people will support because we have Dream Richards, the Dream. We have great names like Atto Boland, we have Richard Thompson, we have Darrell Brown, Mark Burns. And growing up watching people watch track and field on the TV, it's passion, it's excitement, it's jubilee. And the way I see corporate Trinidad advertising track and field as well, promoting the athletes that are in the limelight in the sport, I believe that there is a lot of support. It's just for the Masters to go there this year in Sweden and stamp our name, show them that Trinidad is red and ready, black and white, and we will create a lot more buzz around the Masters Association.
Same question, Dwayne, from your perspective, the support. You feel it's as it should be? Could it be more? What are your thoughts?
I believe that it could be more. In general, in track and field, I find that Trinidad isn't supported enough. I mean, yes, we have.
But you're talking about even at the younger age?
Yes, even at the younger age. But it's like from an outward perspective, seeing that I went out and I went to other places, especially like Jamaica, to see how they push track and field, but it's different cultures.
Totally.
I feel we can do much more as Trinidadians to support from the young go straight up. Look, I was thinking if I was managed better, I'm sure, well, you can do a lot more. Coming from, I had interactions with people from, well, different clubs, athletes, coaches from other countries, and they were like, even when I went to Cuba, they were watching me, while I was training, and there was like, this guy is very good. How much he's jumping? 8 what? And at that point in time, I wasn't even close to 8 meters. So, with seeing how everyone else supports the sport itself in other countries, I think Trinidad could, we could step it up a little bit.
Why you feel Jamaicans, and let me just switch a little bit, why you feel Jamaicans and Jamaican athletes, Jamaican sportsmen in particular, have such a determination, particularly in track and field? Because
they see it as a way out. Jamaicans, it begins with, when you watch people like Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price, they see that they make money on our world stage, like making millions of dollars. A lot of Jamaicans used to tell me, I want to be a millionaire just like them. So they see that, all right, this is my talent. I could run real fast. All right, let's just press it from early. And because if I go to the gym, I can't lift with people that was in my age group, and I had to lift with primary school children to tell you how strong, how much drive, how much focus, because I always like to play and put a sense of comedy in whatever it is I'm doing. And everybody was like, no, you have to be serious, you have to, and you have to, we need to win, we need to this. So if we come up with that concept, I'm sure that a lot of the athletes that don't believe in themselves, they will push to become world beaters, to become world renowned, things like that.
Ronald, if you had to go back in time, because remember you say you used to boast, right? So if you had to go back in time, and do you feel that the years you left the sport, if you had stayed in, you could have done better at a younger age?
Oh yes. Those are years you don't get back. Yeah. But I mean, throughout that period, you learn a lot of valuable life lessons as well. Life hardens you when you want to play, you want to gallivant and lime and be friend with this one, and just, be a little less ambitious. That is when life teaches you the most harshest lessons. And because of those lessons, I have developed the iron grit mentality that I have today to go through sessions when I don't feel like it, when the weather isn't favorable, when I have minor injuries. So I don't regret it, but at the same time, I wish I had done better, make more progress in the sport during those years, so that I would have been much further today.
In terms of the people who you say you told you would be back, what have they said now, your mom and your ex?
Well, I don't speak to the ex anymore.
All right, that finally makes sense, because before there was a little end. I mean, Josh is in the background, and if Ryan was here, he would have been too as well. Neil is in the background. I mean, I was beginning to doubt the expert, but so go ahead. Yes.
Right, but as my mom is concerned, she has been watching me by the years, like, this boy really taking this thing serious, because every day you're at it, gym, religiously, track, religiously. But this year, when I made this team this year, I saw that it created a spark, and she began putting much more effort into supporting me in this endeavor, and I'm truly appreciative.
From your perspective too as well, now that you're in it, tell us about the support from your family doing.
Since I was young, I was always heavily supported by my mom.
Yeah.
Also my brothers.
Are they into sports too as well, or not?
Well, they used to. I was their role model. So the same events that I did, my brothers did, Dwight and Darren. And it had times where we even had to compete against each other.
All is D?
Yes, all D.
Dwight, Darren, Dwayne.
Yes,
all right, go ahead.
And it had, like, I think it was in 2009 when we had Southern Games. They had to compete against their big brother, and I always come like joking around, and I'll be like, all right, here what, right? You could win me today. If you say Dwayne, I could get it, please. So you need to say please if you want to beat me. And they kind of hated me for that. I mean, when he got injured, the first event I think was in 2010, he broke his knee in the pit. And he had to call it wraps. And the other, he sought other persuasions.
Sure.
And I was the only one. When I kind of hung up the cap for a little bit, everybody was like, but you really thought you was going to the Olympics and whatnot. And that kind of like, doing, you can't give up on your dream. Now that my mom see that, okay, your first time out back and you made a team, all right, cool. So yeah, you still have the passion. You never really lost it. It's just, we made some side roads in life now. So I still have the support of my mom, support of my brothers. The younger one to me, he was like, make a national team and things still in this age, because they're still watching old man, your beard getting white. And But as the slogan says for masters, it's never too late to participate.
No, never. What about facilities doing? I mean, both of you all mentioned, obviously, the Manny Ramjam, we know it's not in the best condition. But what about facilities? Are you happy with the facilities?
No. As a jumper, to find like a long jump pit where you need to train, it's kind of hard.
What is the way of finding triple jump it?
No, well, it's the same thing. You just a longer distance.
I know, that was it. The distance is longer than so it make it harder.
At present, I train at a grass pit in Princestown. That is the transport grounds. The problem I have with is the run-up isn't long enough. So in order for me to get like a good training session where jumps is concerned, I have to go to Ainsley Crawford.
That's the only place for the long way.
The only place, because I used to go to the Atto Boland Stadium, but that stadium isn't in proper conditions right now. So yeah, you just have to make the long way up to Port of Spain and back down to the countryside.
And the same thing for you in terms of facility. I guess the 100 meters is easier, but I mean, it is hard,
Well, the 100 meter, is an easier event, more accessible for training as various training is concerned. I think the Mondo needs changing on the track. It's long overdue. I know a lot of members of the track and field world in Trinidad, they would be advocating to get that Mondo upgraded for some time now. And I just hope they get the approval.
Ganesh Prasad has been around for a long time. Tell us a little bit about him, because both of you all work with him, but let me start with you first.
Mr. Prasad, I mean, you see him on the track, he's issuing...
I don't know how he gets that energy, because when I look at, I ate myself here too as well, but since I don't Ganesh Prasad, he look old. Yeah. So I'm wondering, every time I go to the Olympics and I see Ganesh Prasad, he look old. I go back, he look the same way, I get older. I go back, he look the same way, I get older. I go back, he not changing, he just look the same way, but he still has the energy.
He is immortal because we go to the track and we see that same thing every day. You know, he's like, there, the same fire, he'll speak to the athletes in a commanding way, and he's get his exercise done too, you can notice.
Right,
Make certain laps and stuff like that, so we know he's keeping his health in check. And he brings a very important presence to the stadium when we're training there, you know. No horsing around, no monkeying around, because you don't want to get Mr. Prasad vexed. So he keeps us on our P's and Q's even when he doesn't even know.
And of course, from your perspective, in an environment where you have a man with so much knowledge of Ganesh Prasad, and of course you would have come through the ranks, how do you assess it?
I'll say you take it in segments. You can't get everything one time, because Mr. Prasad, he will never lead you astray. He always have something to tell you, especially if you're doing nonsense, and he is blatant. As they say, he don't put water in his mouth for anybody. If you come correct, you will go far, especially where Mr. Prasad is concerned. He has a lot of ideas for young athletes, even the older ones. If you want to be friendly, playful, he will be friendly and playful with you as long as you get the job done.
You're going to Sweden, it's a cold country. How are you going to adapt? I mean, in terms of your experience, have you been to these sort of countries where you have to deal with this sort of temperature? Yes, they might say summer, but their summer is not the summer that you know as summer, obviously, right? Their summer might be 20, and with rain, right? That might be their summer. So how was you? How are you going to deal with? I mean, are you a cold weather guy, a dry weather guy? How are you deal with it?
I never scared, but sometimes frightened. Yes, I'm Trini to the bone.
Right.
I don't deal with cold. When I went to Mexico in the summer in 2013, I find it was freezing. So right now I already started packing my suitcase.
So if you check the temperatures, they're coming down a little bit.
Yes, I have a winter jacket. I have I think it's 2 quilts. Right. And I'm making sure and put as much as layers as possible that I can get underneath my clothing to make sure.
It's outdoor, you're all outdoor, right? Outdoor,
yes.
Right? Not indoor, outdoor.
No, it's an outdoor competition.
How are you going to deal with the cold?
Well, I have researched the weather, what the weather going to be between the 13th and the 25th. What
is that? Because he's a man, they do research. So I go quick ask him. What do you predict?
As you said, 20, 21, 19 on certain days, and there will be a few rainy days in there. I have a very low body fat percentage.
Right. So that might help?
No.
That won't help?
No, it won't.
So you're trying to say being a fat person, it has some advantage in coldness?
Correct.
All right, I don't want to call no name. Josh, should we call names? Should we call? He's not here, so he can't defend himself. Ryan Gomez Book is not here. Rodney is here, but Ryan Gomez Book is not here. So I'm not going to call no names. So go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is one of the only times I wish I had a tad more body fat percentage on me.
Yes.
So as Dwayne said, I just want to gear up a little better with the extra jackets, extra quills. What would be a challenge for me is the warming up and staying warm.
Oh, yes, because you can't afford to go up, go warm, get back cold. That's not good for you. That's really not good.
Right, for the joints, especially when you're older.
Yeah.
So it's something to learn from. So I plan on learning in depth from this experience. In future, if I have other competitions, I intend on making other national teams. I will use the knowledge learned from this experience concerning how to better prepare yourself in cold temperatures.
All right, so now today's Thursday the 18th, you all depart on the 9th. What are some of the plans building up? Is it that you all taper off or you all continue hard training first on your side?
Well, from a sprinting perspective, this year my goal has been to make this national team to go to Sweden.
Right.
So I had not planned on peaking too early in the season. Dwayne has been on the back about that. A year I ran slow at times in the early part of the season, but it's falling in place right now where I could put my foot down, how hard on the gas, and do the exercises necessary to get a quicker turnover, more rhythm in my race execution, planning the race model. I'll better because less injuries. I feel very healthy at the moment. Thank God for that. So it's just to plan the race model and execute properly.
From your perspective, in terms of training-wise?
And same concept. I have a tendency to get bored. And this season is way longer than you're accustomed to. Your season will either finish around senior championships in June, maybe if you make a team July. But seeing that it was this far in August, I had to set back everything in the sense that I don't want to peak too soon because, all right, you reach this high point, I can't drop at this age and try to peak again. So all my competitions and training sessions were leading up to Sweden itself.
What sort of distance do you think you need to jump to win a medal?
To win a medal, I mean...
To win the gold medal, sorry. When I say medal, I mean gold medal,
Yes.
Most of the times.
Anywhere close to 7.5 meters.
7.5?
Yeah.
Similar question for you, Rondell, to win the gold medal.
To win the gold, I think I'll have to drop between 10.4, 10.5, judging from Switzerland had a World Masters Championships in 2022. One of our local boys, Sheban Simpson, he came fourth in the finals. He made it through the rounds, 3 semifinals, and went on to the finals. He ran a season's best in 2022 of 10.84. It was a blanket finish for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They all ran 10.84, and he was given 4th place. The 3rd place guy was just like 1,000 of a second ahead of him or something like that.
Went all the way down.
So I'm using that as a map. So 10.4, 10.5, I have my work cut out for me, and I intend to put in the work.
Nutrition. Always when I talk to persons involved in sports, particularly those involved in track and field, nutrition is important. Give us a little idea, first of all, about what is in your case, because you're a bodybuilder, it might be a little bit different, but I'm still going to ask you. Tell us what is your normal nutrition in terms of your diet. Let me use the triad to forget nutrition, but not forget what. Let's say, what is your normal diet?
It's a lot of carbs. For me, I don't do the heavy high protein. I'm a little bit different from
When you say a lot of carbs, like what?
Well, we're looking at the best carbs in Trinidad. We're looking at green fig. We're looking at all the provisions.
Green
the
fig?
Dasheen.
Dasheen, all right. I'm not accounting for that. I tried to help some guys in the background,
We're looking at the
here
yams.
at the station. Darren Leasing is one of those I'm thinking about too as well, so go ahead.
We're looking at the yams. We're looking at the cassava, the sweet potato, the eddos. We always want to hope breadfruit is in season. It's very carbohydrate based. It's a superfood as well.
Just boiled breadfruit?
Yeah, and you want to prepare it, you could roast it, you could boil it, you could do an oil down, these kind of things with the peas and the dasheen bush. That's one of my favorite dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do venture with the rice as well too, but I follow a vegan diet.
Oh, so no meat. That's why you say no meat.
Yeah, no meat. 13 years now. So
no meat, no fish either as well?
No fish either.
Wow.
So I know for sure that
So you are real, so the Trinidad and Tobago team don't worry about in terms of you when you travel because your food cost, your food bill real low.
Yes, hopefully.
I'm sure you'll get those meals abroad with some of those provisions. I'm not too sure they'll have all of those provisions
so
abroad.
I might have to heavily depend on potatoes.
You might get sweet potato.
And the macaronis and the spaghettis,
pasta.
some rice, stuff like that, peas, beans. And we had to get in some good fiber for good.
You might get avocado, but that might be the only thing you might get.
Yeah, some fruits. I love fruits.
Yeah.
You know, I could eat fruit anytime.
But you'll get that. That I know you'll get over there. They'll have good fruits. They'll have that.
Hoping to come across some European fruits I've never had before.
Right, and they'll have a lot of European fruits, so they'll have that. We understand. So you're thinking just like Josh, actually. So almost lose me there now. But anyway, let us stay focused. Dwayne,
yes.
Give us your diet.
All right, so my diet's supposed to be high carb, high protein.
Right.
But coach literally put me on a seafood diet. He said, Dwayne, anytime you see food, eat it. Because of my...
Oh, God. Check me down now. I thinking, at first, I didn't want to think that what you were saying, so I'm thinking shrimps and fish.
No,
go ahead.
Because of my job aspect and work ethic, I tend to forget when to have my meals.
Okay,
so I used to work through lunch, work through dinner, and whenever I get chance, go and eat. And that took a toll on
me. That would help in particular that day, definitely.
So, my mom, wife, everyone keeps constantly asking me, Dwayne, you eat yet? Dwayne, you eat yet? So anytime I see food, they'll just bring, they wouldn't even ask.
So you ain't no vegan? You ain't no vegan?
No,
you ain't worried
at
about
all.
that at all?
The only thing is I stay away from the red meats though. I'm more chicken.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, gentlemen, as we prepare to go, Dwayne, let me tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago what they can expect from you and why you continue to want the support of Trinidad and Tobago as you and the rest of the team leave our shows on the 9th of August for Gothenburg.
All right. My name is Dwayne Hurwitz, and I always tell everyone this. You get me out of Trinidad and you'll get a world beater. And I stand by my word. I'll continue to love the support and love the cheers and to have the whole of TNT on my back while I go for goal.
Rondell, to end, same sort of question, same sort of final words from you to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be your fans, whether it be your friends, whether it be the community in terms of supporting the Masters.
First of all, it's a true blessing to be to represent the country on an international level. So I would want to promise that I will go there on podium as the first goal this year, and look forward to seeing a lot more from me next year and years to come. I'll only get better, I'll only get faster. I'm a very resilient young man and very focused on my sport, and I intend to bring some national pride to it.
All right, so then I want to thank both of you. I want to thank Dwayne Herbert and I want to thank Rondell Paul. We know for sure one thing. We know he doesn't want to overtrain, as we said.
Exactly.
But we will leave for the break knowing that he might want to overeat.
True.
And on that note, we take a short break. I'm not going to say what it is. On that note, we take a short break knowing that both gentlemen, no, not both, one gentleman does only seafood. The other man overeating anything. We'll take a break. We'll be back.